have used a war room. Facts are finally coming out about Ann Curry's swift and ugly departure as Matt Lauer's co-host. Joining me now to talk about the behind-the-scenes drama of morning TV is the author of Top of the Morning, Inside the Cutthroat World of Morning TV, New York Times media reporter Brian Stelter. Brian, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Remember when you called me up and you had the scoop on me? You called me at home that I was going to have a show at HLN? Called me at home.
It's a hard number to find.
It should be. And then I had to scramble around and call up Barbara Walters because she didn't even know yet.
I should have called her too. Her number's even harder to find.
Oh. Anyway, you spent 22 months researching this book about morning television. I mean, did you have unlimited access to these morning shows? They just let you go in there?
Well, up until Ann Curry was removed from the Today Show, I thought I had pretty good access. I was able to talk to a lot of the people involved. Unfortunately, NBC won't let Ann Curry be interviewed, so I wasn't able to talk to her directly about it, but pretty much everybody else involved.
What is she, in the gulag over there? Today I found out that she has a different hairdo that they want. I'm going to show you a picture in a little while. I mean, and now she can't talk to anybody? What is that?
I think it's very odd. I mean, I understand NBC's concerns, but one of the reasons why there's so much built-up concern about her among her fans is that she hasn't come out and told her side of the story. And I know publishers have been calling her, trying to get her to write a tell-all. I don't know if she's been calling back, but they would love her to write a book.
Well, you know, everybody would love me to write a book about The View, but that doesn't mean I'm going to shoot myself in the foot and do it. You know what I mean? You'll never eat lunch in this town again if you do a book like that, right?
I suppose for Ann that would be a big concern, right? Because then it would be harder for her to jump to another network later.
Yes.
That would be a big concern. But I do think
because they won't trust her. If you write a book like that, the other networks will say, oh, we can't trust her. She'll do it to us.
Right, right. But in some ways, doesn't she deserve a chance to tell what happened?
She does.
Maybe in 20 years or 30 years or whenever it is she wants to retire. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, after Meredith left, Ann Curry took over. And a lot of people didn't want her to be in that position.
Right.
Why not?
Right. I think looking back, I'm not sure she ever got a real chance to co-host. Seems like she was undermined from day one because there were concerns about her style, about her presentation, about the way she whisper-talked, about the way she was too emotional with interviewers.
But they knew that before. They knew that before
they did.
Meredith
That's what's
left.
so odd about this.
Why did they give her the job?
I think they took the easy way out. They knew that Meredith Vieira was going to leave.
Yeah.
Meredith Vieira genuinely wanted to leave. I mean, it's funny. She actually wanted to quit. Often, you know, they don't say very often in TV where a host actually wants to just step down. Well, Meredith Vieira did.
No, but in that time slot, yeah.
Yeah, well, right, and they knew for a while she was going to leave. That's what's so perplexing about why they didn't think about other candidates. But when I say it was the easy way out, Ann Curry was there. She's on the bench. She'd been waiting for 15 years for this moment. And so they took the non-decision. They did the easy thing rather than going out and looking for a more creative alternative.
Okay, so after they fired her, why didn't they just let her go to another network then?
I think they wanted, well, first, they wanted to keep her in the family. They wanted to have the appearance of an intact family. Of course, that's pretty hard.
No one believes it.
Maybe they should have known better. Maybe they shouldn't have tried to fake it. They say they genuinely wanted to keep her. Looking back, though, maybe that was the right play. Just let her leave altogether. Okay.
But inside to say that there was no chemistry. Everybody can see it between Matt and Ann. That was the problem. And you write that Jim Bell, which is the Today Show's executive producer at the time, came up with this something called Operation Bambi.
This three-part plan to renew Matt Lauer's contract, then remove Ann Curry, and then replace her with Savannah Guthrie. And the Bambi name came up when someone said to him, well, wouldn't removing Ann Curry be like killing Bambi?
Why? Why did they say that?
Because she had so many fans, so many people that loved her at home.
And she's like a sort of a delicate sort of
She
fawn.
did have a sort of innocence to her.
And she means well. She's one of these. So tell me, how did you feel when your leg got, you know, whatever?
I actually think the harder she tries, the less sincere she seems. She means it, but the more people don't know. People can't tell that she's sincere.
Yeah, yeah. But did Ann want her out? I mean, did Matt want Ann out also?
I think they took that off the table. They said, whatever you do, we're getting rid of Ann. But that's crazy, because if Matt Lauer decided...
got the blame. He got the blame.
Yeah. If he had decided to leave the show, though, which he was thinking about doing, they would have kept Ann, because they couldn't lose both.
I see.
You know, you couldn't lose both in 1 year.
But he decided not to leave, so then she got screwed.
Right.
Okay, Bell and others succeeded at getting Ann out. Take a look at her last day on the Today Show. Watch.
Today is going to be my last morning as a regular co-host of Today. I will still be a part of the Today Show family, but I'm going to have a new title and a new role. And this is not as I expected to ever leave this couch after 15 years, but I am so grateful, especially to all of you who watch, because Matt and I and everyone who sits on this couch, we often call ourselves a family. but you are the real Today Show family.
Well, that's a sort of a backhanded way of saying the real truth is we're not the family. You are the family. Right? She was a little bit disingenuous, I think, but also sincere at the same time. It's a very unusual departure.
It's like watching an execution. But some people say she was the executioner because she went in there knowing she was going to cry, knowing she was going to take the show down with her. I mean, I think that's pretty preposterous, but maybe it's possible.
What? Do you blame her, the way they treated her?
I think I probably would have teared up on my last day if I were her, too.
But she had every right to be annoyed with them, it sounded like. Tell us about the backstage stabbing that went on with the pictures of her and all the stuff they did.
At one point, there was a blooper reel made up of all of her embarrassing moments on the show. It was never shown on TV, but it was made internally so people could all laugh at it.
And they never showed it to her to have her laugh at herself.
That's what's so striking is after she was removed, that's when she went back and started thinking, what happened? What clues did I miss? It was almost like she was an investigator trying to figure out her own, the crime that was committed to her. You know, she'd wake up early and think, like, why did I not see the signs, the warning signs?
But they'd have pictures. They had a picture of her in one outfit and, what is it, Big Bird? And the outfit.
And they did who wore it best.
Which one wore it best? Yeah. I mean, that's nasty stuff against her.
Especially when someone's already vulnerable. The thing about Ann Curry was she'd been in the job less than a year, so it wasn't necessarily that she could take that. You know, if you've been there 15 years, you might be in on the joke. I don't think Ann Curry was in on the joke.
It's more like the Manson family. Okay, well, that was going on at the Today Show. I keep calling it the Today Show. They keep saying it today. It's too confusing.
I agree.
Okay. This was going on at Good Morning America. The ratings underdog at the time, right?
Right.
Okay, watch this.
Thank you. It was the best New Year's ever, and I hope you guys had a great one.
Welcome back, Sam.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Great to have you back.
I just had a moment.
You did. I don't want to interrupt that.
Bracelets that they were made for me by friends. It's the prayer of protection that my mom taught me a long time ago.
Wonder Twin Powers
and activate.
I mean, it's all very, very, you know, love fest going on, a little religious even, you know?
Yeah.
And so that was what they were up against.
GMA was ready when the Today Show screwed up. It's so important in any business, any industry, to be ready when your rival screws up.
But it's interesting how they knew to go against them with this kind of familial attitude.
Yeah.
And is it real? Is it real behind the scenes?
At least last year it helped. They actually liked each other. It wasn't faked. Now, who knows if they can keep that up? You know, who knows what happens when you're in first place? Sometimes it gets uncomfortable.
Why? Why? It should be easier.
Because everybody wants to reap the rewards of first place. But I haven't heard a lot of that yet. I think what they have is actual chemistry because there were times where the producers told me that the anchors of GMA would go out and have drinks, maybe get a little drunk, and then drunk tweet, and they were worried about the ramifications of that. I mean, that's real friendship.
Yeah, I say. But there's a lot of money at stake. That's why it's such a cutthroat business, show business, movies, television,
That's why I was
radio.
so interested. There's $1 billion every year divvied up between NBC, ABC, and CBS in the mornings.
Yeah.
So every viewer is actually worth something.
So when you see that Matt Lauer is reportedly making $25 million, it's really a drop in the bucket to what the networks are making.
That's why if you're his agent, that's why you ask for that much money, because you know you're worth it.
So do you think people are resentful of him for that?
I do. I think that once Ann Curry was removed, people started to blame Matt Lauer, and then they looked for other reasons to dislike him. And the salary was one reason to dislike him. They were able to say, oh, he's not like me, he makes too much money.
I see. Okay, we have more to talk about with Brian, so don't go away.